Today we're going to create a genre wheel. Now a genre wheel puts all the different genres into one place so that as you read a certain genre you can mark it off. And remember, we're going to be reading 6 books this year, 3 in class and 3 out of class. And so it's going to be important when I tell you what genre to pick that you are checking that off on your wheel. Okay, the first thing you'll need to do is gather your materials. And today you'll need a compass, a sheet of construction paper or computer paper, the genre wheel, which you can find on the homework page under genre wheel, 1 regular pencil, 3 colored pencils, I do not care what color, and 1 ruler. Now if you don't have a compass, you can use materials around the house that are circular as a template. Okay, the first thing I want to do is find the middle point of my paper. Now a real quick way to do that is to fold it so that you have force. So I'm going to fold it one time this way, and then I'm going to fold it again this way, and when I open it up I have a middle section. So right there is the center point of my paper. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my compass to 3.5 inches. So right here are the inches on one side and the centimeters on the other. I like to use inches, so I'm going to find 3.5 inches and open up my compass to that width. The next thing I want to do is I want to place the metal point of my compass in the center of my paper and then draw a circle around the entire piece of paper. When you're finished, it should look like this. Now remember, if you don't have a compass, you can find the top of a Tupperware container or anything around the house that is about this size. Try to find something to trace around so that your circle is as perfect as it can be. Okay, the next step is to move your compass in about 1/2 inch to approximately 3 inches. And then you're going to make another circle on your genre wheel. When you're finished, it should look something like this. Okay, now move your compass from 3 inches into about 1 inch. And you're going to create another circle on your genre wheel. When you're done, it should look something like this. Now remember, if you don't have a compass, you can find any shapes that you can use as a template. Just see how close you can get. This is a 1 inch diameter item, so just make your best guess that you can. Don't worry too much about the size of the shapes. I just kind of want them as circular as possible. Okay, now I am moving my compass to about 3/4 of an inch, and I drew another circle, and so now my genre wheel looks like this. Okay, the last circle is kind of tricky. If you'll move your compass all the way in, but it's very difficult to maneuver, so you may have to be kind of creative with the way you do your last circle. And you can see mine is not all that perfect. But when you're finished with this part of it, you should have 5 layers of circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, ultimately this is what we're creating. We're creating the genre wheel. So if you can get a copy of that, I have it right here also. But let me show you the next step in creating our genre wheel is to go to the 3rd circle, 1, 2, 3, and draw a line all the way to the outer circle using your ruler so that your line is nice and straight. Okay, the next thing I did was on the 3rd circle, from where I drew my line to the outer circle, I took my ruler and I measured 1 inch, and I placed a dot on that 3rd circle. Now I'm going to connect this dot to the outer circle to create a wedge in my wheel. So I'm going to continue to do that, measure approximately an inch. My sections are exactly matched up, as you can tell. It's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to measure about an inch on the third circle, and then I'm going to draw a straight line out to the outer circle so that my wheel looks like this. Now it has spokes in my wheel, much like a bicycle tire. Next, I'm going to label the inside of my Jandra wheel, the very inside. That looks like it's backwards, so I don't know if it's going to come out right or not, but it should say life and nonfiction. Let's see what happens when I... Yeah, so it kind of gives a mirror image, but life and nonfiction is what should be on the inside of that. I'm going to continue on with my Jandra wheel. So the next step that I did was I drew horizontal lines from the very inside circle to the third circle on both sides of life and nonfiction. Okay, now I'm going to continue with my Jandra wheel, labeling the nonfiction portions of my wheel. So I added autobiography and biography, as well as informational and human interest. I am just copying the Jandra wheel. Now, the inside of the wheel talks about non-fictional text. The outside of the wheel talks about fiction genre. So the word fiction will go in every single section on the outer part of the circle. Then we're going to, inside the wedge, put the different genres of fiction. It will be exactly like the Jandra wheel that is available to you as an attachment on the web page, but we are not putting in animal fiction. We're going to leave that one out. Okay, so I filled in all the wedges of the different types of genre for fiction. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my circle with some markers, filling in the fiction with one color and nonfiction with a separate color. So I took a dark colored pencil, I chose black, and I outlined my genre wheel. All of the spokes, all of the circles that are within the circles. And now I'm going to choose a different color to label my fiction genres. Okay, and so now I chose a different color. I chose green. It doesn't matter what color you choose. And I outlined all of the wedges that say fiction in that same color. Okay, now I took that same color that I outlined fiction in, and I lightly shaded all the wedges of the fiction genres. Be careful not to go into the inner circle like I did right here. I got a little careless. This will be a different color in the middle. Okay, I chose orange for my life and nonfiction, so just trace that. And yes, then we're going to shade the inner circles in with orange. This is what your final Jandra wheel should look like. Of course, we're going to put a title and the heading on this as well. Please don't color it in too dark because I am going to ask you to make notes on this. And also, do not cut the extra paper away from the wheel. Okay, so I put the title on my Jandra wheel. I've also put the correct heading with my first and last name, my period, and the date. These are due a week from tomorrow, so that will put us at, actually a week from today, so that will put us at September 9th. These are due on September 9th. Okay, talk to you later.